world does this mean? Why am I finding XYZ? And when I did my research and studied it, it all kind of came together. No, put that back. So this is the reason why I was moved to do this topic tonight. And I'm so glad that you were excited about it,
Yes.
Bessie, because I'm sure you can relate to it as well. So you let me know if you want to do the cards or the conversations first.
Um, I think I will do the cards today. I will do the cards. Um,
Okay.
I'll go ahead and share something. So for those of you who are regulars, you know that I do operate in the gift of mediumship, which is connecting with your ancestors and talking to people on the other side. I've had this gift since I was a child. I just didn't have the vocabulary for it. And I'm sharing that with you all because um, earlier tonight, I was walking past my what has become, because it didn't start out that way, but what has become my ancestor space in my home. And this photo keeps falling out of place. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to bring you with me because there and Ashley, you're gonna love who it is. I'm just gonna say that. Because Ashley had a chance to meet this person while she was on this side of life. But grandmother has decided to join us today. And this is my grandmother right here. And so one of the things is that, oh, and the other lady is her cousin. They were best friends. Um, but every now and then, whenever my grandmother wants to get my attention, she will pull her picture off, and there's no explanation as to why this picture would fall. There's no air that can make it fall. There's nothing that can jolt it against the wall. Like there's no banging on the walls for it to fall. It just simply falls out from behind its space and it falls. But it didn't fall today, but it was leaning over like this. And I said, you know what, Grandma? I'm going to bring you with me because obviously you want to be in this space with us tonight. Obviously, you want to have some sort of a connection with us tonight. I didn't show the world. This is my grandmother, and this is her cousin right here. I also streamed this on my YouTube channel, so that's why I had to do that. But also, a few weeks ago, and I never told you all this, but I got some new Oracle cards, and they are past life oracle cards.
Ew.
And the reason why I'm bringing up the past life oracle cards is because for some of us, we are our own ancestors. So there are times when it's like we need guidance and it's like go within. Like, and they always tell us to go within anyway to follow our true instincts. But for some of us, we have to go in because we already know the answer because we've lived before. And for some of us, we've lived multiple times before. So the answer, we truly have the answer within us, right? And so it's like tap into that space of who you used to be. Because if you were your own ancestor, think about it. Baby, I know what you need. I know what you need to say during this time. I know how to navigate what you're going through this time. And it's okay. I am already here with you because it's you. Um, But one thing that did come to me is also healing the ancestral space. Um, when you're healing the ancestral space, what you're doing is you are healing the things that your ancestors, the thing that if you were one of your ancestors, the things that you went through in your past life that sometimes need to be healed to clear up um, some negative energetic energy, right? So you can get that out of your system so that you can complete that cycle permanently has to happen. And the only way to do that is by recognizing what it is to recognize what hurt space that energy is in. So for some people, like I had a conversation with a lady once, and she was talking about is, drinking um like a generational curse. And I said, no, it's a learned behavior. And sometimes our curses are learned behaviors because that's what we were prone to do. That's what we know. It's the same as there's this story that my mom was telling me that, whenever there was this family that always cut off the ends of the ham and they threw it away. And so my mom said, well, why? Like, that's still meat that you can use, like, and eat. And she was like, I don't know. That's what we've always done. So she asked her mom, and she was like, I don't know. That's what we've always done. So she asked her mom, and she said, oh, well, I started doing that because whenever we were younger, we would buy hams that was too large for our pot. She said, so I had to cut the ends off so that it will fit in the pot. So this whole entire time, people were cutting off the ends of the ham for no reason. They just knew that that's what my mom did. So we gonna do it too. And it's things like that that happens within our family that sometimes it may not be that light. It may act something dark may have happened. And so people continue to carry those same traditions over and over again. And it's learned behaviors. And when you learn those behaviors and you recognize, oh, I don't have to respond this way to a certain situation, I don't have to accept this thing in a certain situation. It's like, oh, okay, now you can break whatever that thing is for your family. I'm not going to say a curse. I was about to say a curse. But whatever that issue was, whatever that stance is on a thing, you don't have to do it because everybody in your family did it before. There was probably a reason why the first stance happened. And also, it is already proven that all of us carry something from our ancestors, especially those of the African American experience, right? We literally continue to carry on the bonds of the slaves, right? That's why there are certain people that think certain ways. Like if you're one to always think negative, there is a reason. There was somebody in your family that was taught to think of themselves less than. So anytime an opportunity presents itself, you will always think of yourself as less than because that's all you've heard. I don't see myself getting out of the hood. Why? How many generations of your family have been living in the hood? Why don't you see yourself on 40 acres of land and you can have multiple houses on that land? You look at all the superstars and see that they have multiple cars. Some of it's rented, let's be clear. But why don't you see that you can actually have those cars? Why is your the landscape, the blueprint of your life so limited? And it's because there is something that has been transpired within your within your family, right? Where you can only see but so far. And there are some people that break the curse for themselves, right? We do know that. And then it's like, well, why don't you help the family out? How can I help somebody who's refusing to see the error in their ways? If you're continuing to see in a certain way, I can't pull you out because you're going to go back to it because that's all you know. But whenever you break that habit, whenever you change those habits, then and only then will you break the curse off of your own self. And you can prosper the way you're supposed to prosper. And you can move the way you're supposed to move. So, all right. The cards are coming out. So I have 3 cards from the past life. And one of the things as I ask Spirit is to help me understand what are some of the things that we needed to heal. And so the first card that came out is High Priest or High Priestess. So some of you are already in your past lives, you were a high priest or high priestess. And let's just be clear, you were a diviner, right? There was somebody in your life, because I'm also using this as an ancestral reading. There was somebody that was in your life that was a high priestess, right? And there's some healing there, because what happens to the high priestess is it's think of it as the person that is strong, that the backbone of the family, right? And then you see that person go through something so horrendous that it breaks them. And so now people are like, okay, if this person was able to break this strongest person in our family, now what? Then what? And so many people have been broken that they continue to operate in brokenness because they don't know how to be whole. The family does not know how to be whole. And the card that came out to heal itself is one of my favorite cards. It's the rhodochrosite. I'm going to show it to you first. And the key words that it says on this card is be gentle with yourself. Because one thing that we tend to do when we're broken is that we will beat up ourselves for not being perfect. We can't be perfect because nobody is perfect. And when we don't love ourselves, we have to love ourselves whole. I'm going to say that again. We have to love ourselves whole. We are already broken because of what we come into this life carrying. And most of the times we don't know that we're carrying it until somebody shares it with us. This is something that I've noticed about you. Or we have that aha moment, right? And it says, you've been through a lot and need time to heal and recover. This is what the card says. And I'm going to share a very, very, very personal story with you. And this was one of my awakening moments that I was a healer. Because most people, like, now mind you, I do not have a degree in psychology whatsoever. But I tell you, when I know things of the mind, I know things of the mind. This mind that I have always had has always been one to go deeper and to figure out why things happen. So whenever I was a kid, I was raped. And I carried this thing with me, not knowing that I carried it. But I was 17 years old when I realized that I was carrying this baggage, unaware. And what happened was I was chosen to go on this. Not I was chosen to be a part of a cohort called the. It was something to do. I'm thinking losing the name, but it had something to do with law because I've always been interested in the law, like always. And so teenagers from across America came to the White House, and we got a chance to spend time with each other and meet each other. And we got a chance to go to places like George Washington University and Harvard, not Harvard, Howard University, and the different universities in Washington, D.C. that offer law. And we got a chance to talk to the professors. We got a chance to go see a hearing. At that time, there was a lady that was going to prison for 60 years for embezzlement. And I said, wow, for embezzlement. And this was in 2002. So anyway, so we were on the bus getting ready to go to a venue. And one of the guys behind me grabbed my arm. And I was fine. I was fine. I was not feeling no type of way. It was just a normal day. But whenever he grabbed my arm, I snapped on that young man so hard. And now mind you, we were all the same age, but still, I snapped on him so hard. And he was like, yo, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I just like grabbed you like in a playful way, but like don't touch him. Don't. And then I sat and I said, why did I do that? Why did I snap on this guy? And my mind went back to when you were raped. You never liked anybody to touch you. afterwards. And then I started thinking about how when I was growing up, even as a kid, I couldn't stand for other children to sleep in the same bed as me. It's like, no, get away from me. I had to have my space. And then I said, okay, how do I heal from this? Now I have acknowledged the pain. I've acknowledged where I first got this pain. How do I heal from this? And I begin to heal. And so when you go through these things, you have to be gentle with yourself. Because had I not been gentle with myself, I probably would not have healed. Like, I probably would say, oh my gosh, you are crazy. Like, why did you just snap on that guy like that? Why did you, he was playing, I could have easily went into that mode, but my mind went the opposite way. And that is the same type of thinking I have had since I was a baby. And so now, whenever I see certain things, I can recognize it. Okay. I can tell when somebody's faking that they have been raped. Like, no. When a person's been raped, they're not going to do this and they're not going to do that. And I know we're all different, but no. And I scold people who lie on things, because those, for some of us, we know what that feels like. We know the altercations that come with that. We know the impact it can have on your lives. I'm gonna go on because I know that was deep and heavy, but I had to share that with somebody because, right, because you can heal from these things. The next thing, ironically, not so ironic, is lessons and blessings. So, what are some of the lessons and the blessings that we have had to endure? Like I just told you, one of my lessons, and one of my lessons turned out to be a blessing, because now, again, it allowed me to recognize and understand that my perception on life can never be surface level. When I ask questions because I have to go deeper. Whenever I tap in with spirit, whenever spirit is showing me things, I never just see the surface level of things. I see deeper. Now it's getting to the point, and this has been happening over the last few years. If I'm having a conversation with people, sometimes I can literally see their future. I can literally see them doing certain things. And I even told someone, I said, hey, if you stick with me, you're going to be wealthy. If you don't stick with me, I see you in the poorhouse. They didn't stick with me. Like literally saw them in rags. Literally saw them in rags. I don't know where this person is, but I know the last time I heard about this person, they didn't have a home to live in. Right. And so the healing card that came with that is opal. Opal. And we all know that opal is one of those protective stones. And it says, let yourself sparkle and shine. You are guided to be bold and show your bigger than life side to the world. Why? Because you have already learned the lesson. And in the lesson, you are now recognizing how blessed you are to have that lesson. You sometimes we don't see, like while we're going through it, we don't see the blessing in it. We're just like, oh my gosh, this thing is happening to me. Why? Lord, angel, somebody save me. And the whole time your ancestors are like, but baby, we're here. It's gonna be all right. And we have this inner knowingness that everything's gonna be all right. But at the same time, it's like the kid that you throw into like 2 inches of water. They're like, oh my God, I'm drowning, I'm drowning, I'm drowning. And they're like, baby, calm yourself, just stand up. But all you know is that you have been thrown into something when you were unaware, and they're like, calm down and stand up. And I'm gonna tell you what that is on our side of things. Be at peace of mind and ground yourself. And when you go there, it's like, oh, everything's okay. Everything's okay. Everything is okay. Everything will be okay because everything is okay. Right? So when we center ourselves and ground ourselves, now we can firmly say, I understand the lesson. That the thing that was what I thought was going to happen to me is not going to happen to me. I now have to take my stance on this thing, walk with peace of mind, walk through it, walk out of it, or give up. But the first two options are the best options, to walk through it or to walk out. And when we walk through something, it's because we are being ushered to walk through that thing because there's some more lessons in it and we grow stronger. And the walking out are lessons that Spirit has given to us so that we can understand, oh no, this is not my battle. I'm not touching this. I'm just going to leave. And your very presence of leaving is a tower for something or someone. I actually shared this last night um, on the spiritual progress report. So if you have a chance, please go check that out. You can find the link in my bio on the Healing Room Tarot page. The overall message was two tower cards coming out. The tower card confirmed the tower card. Disruption. And so sometimes that's what leaving does to the situation. It disrupts the plan of the enemy that has come to you. The last card that came out was Father. So sometimes our fathers come to guide us. Our fathers are our protectors. They're the first ones that teach us, as they say, how to hunt. The hunting and the gathering was the men, right? Our fathers, no matter, and this could even be grandfather, right? Because our grandfathers still so much into us. Our grandfathers are the ones that take us to the side and teach us the life lessons, while our fathers are still trying to figure it out. Because my grandparents was, oh gosh, I love the fact that I grew up during the time that I did, because I got a chance to see my grandparents when they had learned a lot. Like my grandparents was like what, in their 50s when I was born, and like I had I can't even say, well, not even 50s. Maybe no, they were in their 70s. Yeah. I had to think about this thing because my grandmother died not in 2017 and she was 101 years old. This lady right here died when she was 101 years old. And me and her had a closeness like this. And I'm bringing her up because she got a chance to talk to me about my grandfather, some of the things he did when he was younger. Because as I became an older adult, I remember what he told me as a kid. But sometimes I needed to hear my grandfather's voice as an adult. And so by her sharing the stories about my grandfather, I got a chance to put the pieces together. This is why my grandfather was the way he was. This is why my grandfather got quiet sometimes. This is why my grandfather needed to clear his mind. And when he did, he went to his garden. And he was so abundantly blessed because he gave from his garden to other people. And his favorite scripture in the Bible was Psalms 91. And I'm trying to tell you, that is one of the most powerful songs that you can read out of that Bible. He read it religiously every day. In fact, His Bible is the Bible that I have on my ancestors' table. He has it, his little notes written in his script, and he wrote in the corners, the crevices of that book. The pages was tearing out the back of the book, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna put them right back on in there, and we're gonna leave it as is because this man's wisdom, this man's DNA, this man's prayers and his thoughts are in that Bible, and that's what brings me closer to this energy. And the healing stone for this is the titanium rainbow quartz, multifaceted. And I'm not going to read it yet, but I will say this. That is how many of our fathers were. They were multifaceted. And so many people have one way of thinking about them, but they were so much more. But we can internalize that because spirits want us to know that we too are also multifaceted. Don't ever allow someone to define you as less than who you are because you are so much more. You have so much more to offer, to give. And that is, again, that comes with the boundary work, right? Think about when your father went to scold you. I said, don't do this. Yes, sir. Right. And it was in their tone because our fathers were the first one to teach us about boundaries. Don't allow this person to say this to you. Don't allow yourself to be put into predicaments that you can't handle. My grandfather taught me at 9 years old, kid you not, at 9 years old, he taught me this lesson. And he said, son, if you're going to get married to somebody, make sure that you can pay your bills, make sure that you have a roof over your head, and make sure that you have a job. Or if you got to get a second job, get it. He said, because you don't want to have to marry somebody and bring them into your mess. If you can't stand on your own, then you don't need to be with anybody because all you're going to do is bring them down, or y'all going to have like this whirlwind and you're going to bring each other down. So he first taught me about stability. First get stability and then bring someone else into your life. And these are the things that fathers teach us because they teach us how to set up boundaries for ourselves, but also how to respect the boundaries of other people. Because if I respected you, then that means I'm not going to bring you into a whirlwind of pain. I'm not going to bring you down. I me me and Sarai was talking a little earlier. So, and this came out of the conversation. I am not going to bring you into a shitty situation knowing that I am going through some shit, knowing that I am shitty, right? No, because the karma from that is horrible. It's horrible. Think about how many people that you had to leave behind because they had that mentality of, well, I know I ain't this, but I'm gonna come towards this person anyway. And then when you come to this person, you are now putting them off their track of what they're supposed to do. And then when they leave, you find yourself in a worse position because you have touched unknowingly a star seed, someone that is blessed, someone that was meant to help you. And because you showed your ass to this person, you have now added on some more karma to your life. So now not only are you going through the normal regular shit that you've been going through, that must be the key word for tonight. But now you got some other shit piled on top of that shit. And now you got a whole bunch of shit that you got to deal with. So let me read this card. And it says, there are many layers and dimensions to the situation or person you're asking about. So, whatever the problem is that's going on in your life that you think is surface level, It's so much more than what you think. And with this being on the father card, now I just told you about what a father stance or a grandfather stance is. It also lets me know that there is something, either it's your father or the person that you're dealing with, their father, that there's a situation with them that is so much deeper than what you can see. There is some kind of paternal issues that need to be fixed. And what did I say earlier about the high priest or the high priestess? If those things aren't dealt with the proper way, they get taught to the next generation. And if it doesn't get cleared there, it get taught to that next generation. And that pattern continues until someone says, this is not how we're supposed to act. This is not how we're supposed to think. This is not how we're supposed to speak. Let us clear this up. And until somebody does that, that pattern will continue to manifest itself over and over and over and over again. And that is the cards for tonight. The floor is yours.
First off, before I get into any conversation, I just want to send you the biggest virtual hug
Thank
there
you.
is known to mankind. Let me just say that, and you already know how I feel about you. So if I get too deep, maybe on here for 90 minutes. So let me just leave it at that. I'm sending you a virtual hug.
Thank you. Thank you.
Woo, that was heavy. Heavy for the heart. All right, so let me just admit a disclaimer for you guys, because I know that a lot of people may believe in spirituality, may not believe in spirituality. A lot of you guys may think that it's demonic, or a lot of you guys may not even know what to think of it, because relatively it's not new, but in the age of Aquarius, it is new. Now, if you does this and you have been doing this, it's not new for you, but leaving the Piscean age, the age of believing, and now we're in the age of Aquarius, the age of information. So it's new for a lot of people. So this is the judgment-free, and whether you believe in spirits, stars, or maybe you just think that your loved ones are hanging out on the other side watching Netflix, this is definitely going to be an eye-opener for you. And like I said earlier in the conversation, or earlier in the video when I was opening up, we're here to help you guys figure out what exactly is trying to be communicated to you by your loved ones, by your ancestors, by the ascended masters, by spirit, okay, by God, whatever word resonates with you. We're trying to help you guys figure out what is trying to be conveyed to you. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. As you guys know, today we're going beyond the veil to discuss how our loved ones and ancestors communicate with us, and how we can recognize the signs. If you've ever felt an unexplained sense of comfort, or noticed reoccurring patterns that seem too coincidental, you're not imagining things. Okay, these are your ancestors reaching out to you. So let's dive into this fascinating topic and figure out what they are trying to let you guys know. So our loved ones and ancestors want us to know that they are always with us, watching over us, guiding us, and holding us. Mm-hmm. Their messages often come in subtle, symbolic ways. So let's break down some of the most common methods of spirit communication and what they mean. So let's start with spirit animals and insects. Yes, animals and insects are spirit's way of communicating with us. And I'll just use an example today let's take it back. There was a death in my family. It was my aunt. It happened roughly 5-6 months ago. Might have been longer because my sense of time has been off, but I'll say like 6 months ago. And I remember walking outside my house and I saw a dead rat. And I was like, damn, like, I don't know what that means. Because usually, rats are associated with people who talk too much, people who run at the mouth, who just can't shut up. And I'm like, what does this have to do with my aunt passing? And so I did more research. And typically, when you see a rat that's associated with a death, that means that there may have been foul play. Mm-hmm. It's something that's not being said because the rat is dead. So to make a long story short, I do believe that there was foul play surrounding my aunt's passing. But that's all I'll say about that, out of respect for her children. But yeah, these spirit animals and insects are always messages that our ancestors send to us to let us know what messages we need to know. So spirit animals and insects. So these messengers often appear during moments of emotional intensity, for instance, my aunt passing, or when we're seeking guidance. Examples: butterflies. Seeing a butterfly, especially one that seems to linger near you, is a classic sign of transformation and reassurance. It's often a loved one's way of saying, I'm here, I'm proud of you, I'm proud of the growth that you're experiencing, and I ain't going nowhere. Dragonflies. This is a great one because I used to always see dragons during the summertime.
Same here.
They would like bump in. It would literally be flying like on the side of my head, bumping into me. So dragonflies symbolize change, adaptability, and the presence of many spirits. If one lands on you or keeps buzzing near you, it's likely an ancestor encouraging you to embrace life's transformations, transitions with confidence.
I have to speak
Insects.
on. I wanted to speak on that. So the place where my grandparents are buried, right before my grandmother passed away, we went there to clear it off for my grandfather. Now, remember how I was saying that they had this huge garden that they operated out of? Well, it was owned by a doctor who gave them the land to operate. He said, I'm giving you this land to operate, to work out of. Like, that's how blessed my grandparents were. And he said, you know what? I love you so much that I'm going to give you and your wife a plot with my family plot. So when we went to clear off this space for him, there were so many dragonflies and they would not allow us to come. They were like, we got it. He's good. We're good. And we're like, but we got to clear it off. But we didn't just clear off his plot. We would clear off everybody's plot out of respect for their family. But this particular day, they did not want us there. And I said, wow. And once I realized that dragonflies were associated with spirits, multiple spirits, and I said, that is why. They was letting us know that it's okay. You don't have to do this. We're fine. But I wanted to share that. Yeah.
No, I'm glad that you did, because I thought that it was just like when I would see like multiple dragonflies, I'd be like, this is just like nature is just going crazy right now. Like, it's too damn hot. Like, what's going on? But
right.
The more research I did, I was like, wow, these are ancestors. I'm in the presence of ancient beings.
Right.
Let me research what's going on.
Right.
And that's when I started connecting. So no, I'm glad you told that story, because at one point I was just like, it's just too many damn dragonflies, but come to find out it's too many spirits.
Right.
That's what it really was. This is my favorite because I always see ladybugs in my kitchen. Ladybugs are often seen as symbols of protection and good fortune. If one unexpectedly lands on you, it might be a loved one letting you know that you're being looked after. And if you see one in your house, that means you have luck coming. There was one point in time where I had like a whole line of ladybugs outlined in my kitchen. I don't know how they got in, because my windows were all closed and they would like literally line my kitchen. And I kid you not, where I would see them, something good will come from it. So be on the lookout for ladybugs, all right?
Right.
So what spirit animals or insects do you guys feel mostly connected to? Drop it in the comments. I know that a lot of people like associate or feel like more connected to like a certain spirit animal or insect. I love lions. And so that's like one spirit animal that I love. But drop it in the comments what you guys are, what animals or insects you guys are drawn to. Okay, so the second sign is signs in dreams. Dreams are one of the most direct ways our loved ones communicate with us. When they appear in a dream, it often feels vivid and emotional, unlike ordinary dreams. Pay attention to the message, the setting, and the emotions you feel. And also keep in mind that dreams speak in parables. So sometimes the person that's in the dream could be representing something else. I remember someone asked me to break down a dream that they had, and it was them, it's like a reoccurring dream that they kept having over and over again every night. And it was them like missing the train. They would always get there at the right time, but they kept missing the train. And so I was like, okay, well, this is the representation of a missed opportunity, something that you missed.
Mm-hmm.
You may have wanted to take it, or you may have wanted to go after it, but you missed the opportunity. And come to find out, it was a job that she didn't go for, that she had been thinking about going for. And by the time she wanted to go for it, someone else had gotten it. So always know that dreams speak in parables. So that missed train was her missing the opportunity to apply for the job. Number 3, signs, numbers, and synchronicities. Numbers are a universal language, and loved ones also use them to send messages. Repeating numbers like 111, 222, 444 are angel numbers that carry significant meanings. For instance, if you see 555, that means that change is coming. If you see 222, you are in alignment. If you see 888, that money coming. If you see 444, you are connected. If you see 999, change and big transformation is coming, guys. So whatever numbers that you guys see, always take note of it and always try to remember what you were thinking of before you saw the number and what you were thinking of after. Because like I said, spirit always tries to send things you were thinking of something or right before or right after something happens. Okay? All right, so why do they communicate? Why do they communicate? So you may be wondering, why not reach out to us and just say, hey, listen, that girl who you with, she ain't. No, they have to communicate with us the way that they communicate, which is through signs and synchronicities, numbers, even songs. I tell people all the time, songs are a way that a lot of ancestors communicate with us. If you ever been thinking of or just been going through something and a certain song comes on, and whatever that song is saying, it resonates with your situation. It resonates with your situation. Like, pay attention to the lyrics. Pay attention to the words that are being spoken, because songs, receipts, billboards, like a conversation that someone else is having outside. Like, you have to, like, seriously, nothing is a coincidence. You have to pay attention to everything, not on some like crazy-ish, but like seriously, you have to pay attention to everything, because everything has meaning behind it. And I thought that wasn't like accurate at one point, like, oh, that person is just, saying that, for whatever reason. But no, like, nothing is a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason, okay? And they do these things to offer guidance and to reassure us of their love and that they're here. One other thing that I didn't put in my notes is lights flickering. If you guys notice that the lights are flickering whenever you're walking by, or just in general, that's another powerful way of the ancestors or spirit trying to connect to you. Yes. Because remember, we are electro beings. No, we are electric beings, and so they're trying to communicate with us through electronics, because that's their way of getting our attention. A light flickering, that's noticeable. If we're going to look at a light flickering, or the lights going on and off, or the TV going on and off, or the radio stopping and coming on. Like that's electric. So that's a direct way for them to get in contact with us. We might not notice the numbers. We might not notice the butterfly and think, oh, it's just a butterfly. But if we see like the lights flickering or the radio's cutting off and on or the TV shutting off and on, that's like very like direct. That's a way to like really get our attention. So that's another way that they will communicate with us, through the lights flickering or just any electronics. So how to strengthen the connection. If you want to deepen your connection with the lost ones or ancestors, here are a few practices to try. Create a quiet space, light a candle, set intentions to connect with your loved ones, focus on their energy and see what comes through. And one thing that I do, I've shared this before on this podcast, is I'll write down a question that I want answered. I'll put it underneath my pillow and I'll ask Spirit, allow me to have a dream to figure out what I need to do to fix this issue. And I promise you the next day the issue is done, it's rectified, it's answered. But I have to set my intentions. I have to set my incantations by writing them down. Remember, words are spells. So what you say, what you write, thus it shall be. So if you guys want answers to your questions, write it out or put it underneath a candle. You know that colors are representations of the chakras, which have powerful elements associated to them. Black, protection; orange, creativity;
Yes.
red and pink, just, you know, just make sure that whatever you're trying to achieve, accomplish, or discover, associate that color with it. If you're trying to bring in more money, light a green candle. Right underneath the candle, I want to make X amount of money. So just remember that, like, colors are also very powerful when manifesting. An ancestor altar. This is very important. And if you don't want to do one for your ancestors, do one for yourself. That's probably what you should start doing. You should start with yourself, because when you learn how to love yourself, honor yourself, and value yourself, then you can extend that love to your ancestors. So I highly recommend you guys start with an ancestor table yourself and then extend it to your loved ones. So an ancestor altar, you know, you can put photos on it or a photo of you, put their favorite food, just kind of like trying to usher in the energy and the elements that they loved when they were here. Again, writing letters, I already spoke about this. Writing a letter to your loved one, expressing your thoughts and feelings. Sometimes the act of writing can open the door to communication. Journaling signs. Keep a journal of the signs and synchronicities that you notice. Like I said, if you guys are noticing repeated numbers or repeated signs, insects, keep a journal, write it down so that you can go back to it and you can put the pieces together. And in closing, I want to say that if you are ready to dive deeper in connecting with your ancestors, you can always check out the resources on my website, Love Anye at bigcartel.com, or you can always book a session with yours truly, Bestie. He is a beast with them cards. And I know you can do readings for past life. You just got a past life deck. So I know you will whiz with the past life as well as love, lifestyle, whatever. Like, we're here for you guys. I know I have a ton of comments. I wasn't ignoring them, guys. I just wanted to get my point across. So I don't know if you addressed any of them while I was talking.
No, I didn't, but I did want to say, double Scorpion. I read a lot of what you said, and you're okay, sir. You're okay. I like a lot of what you had to say. Those things, yeah. That he's, I know a lot of people may not understand a lot of what he wrote because of how he wrote things, but yeah, he's okay. It's not a spam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, like I said, we are here not only for your your internal healing. But when you heal yourself, you heal the world. So once you heal everything that is going on internally, everything around you is going to change. Now, everything around you might not heal, but that doesn't matter, because when you have a healthy root, whatever is unhealthy is going to fall by the wayside. Okay, so you just focus on your internal healing, and the rest will come. Now, it's that time.
It is
That we put arrow to the text.
Yes,
we got the cool.
And I was going to say, I did want to say something else too. So just some things that have happened to me. So like Ashley said, like I'm trying to tell you, they will flicker a light in a minute. But I don't know if she's still on, but Kira, I think I saw Kira was on earlier. She was here and she witnessed when my door flew open by itself twice. And she just looked at me like, what's going on? And I was like, girl, they here. That's just the spirits walking in and out. I don't know why they decide to walk in and out, but sometimes you may have a door that moves by itself. Whenever I was a kid, and so for those who don't know, I grew up in the Christian church, and they had an overnight prayer that my mom would lead. And one night it was just me and her. And I remember waking up, and at that day that we woke up, my mom, we were getting our sleeping bags together, and the door just opened. Now, the thing about this door is that it was a heavy door. So you literally had to forcefully pull it open. So the fact that it opened by itself, we just looked at each other and she said, okay, it's time to go. I said, yes, it is. So don't be shocked if these things happen, right? I do a lot of candle work as well. And one of the things, hey Darius, oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk. But one of the things is that with candles, I have asked my ancestors questions and they have flickered the candle. If I need to do this, let this candle do this, let this candle do that, and they will move the flame to let me know that they are here with me. But yeah, so like Darius was saying, right, we have not seen each other since, oh gosh, like forever. And so that with that pastor, he taught us that, and this is why I said this is why I'm such in tune with the spiritual world, is because the way that he taught the spiritual things is that he made sure that we understood when spirit was there, or the presence of God was there, and when there was something demonic happening. So I have been in the presence of demonic spirits when they have thrown people in walls, when they have made them crawl around like snakes. So even if you have like somebody that you know, like definitely watch out for the children, right? If they start acting out and doing certain things, they could be playing with the spirit. They could be seeing your ancestors. One of the things that, so a few years ago, I had two cousins to die. They were brothers, one after the other. Like the oldest brother died 2020, the younger brother died 2021. And one thing that their sister said was that her children began to talk to the younger brother and said, he's here. He come to visit us every day before we go to school. While they were brushing their teeth, they recognized that he would come into the bathroom to watch. And she said, but that's what he used to do when he was alive. And I said, right. So it's like the spirits will visit us. They will continue to do the things that we know them to do. I remember even when I first moved here, I had a dream about my grandfather and my uncle, and they were living in the house together. I'm like, why would y'all live together? I don't know. Because they used to bicker and fight each other. Like they loved each other, but they bickered and fight for all the time. But my uncle had this car on the porch, and he was like, I don't know why he got a car on my porch, but he up here fixing it. Like he got all this girl, all this land, and it was like those were the type of conversations that they had. And I woke up laughing, and I was like, "Y'all still fussing and fighting? Okay, I love y'all too." So even when you dream about your loved ones, like I know there's this superstition to say if you dream about a loved one, they're coming to get you. That's not necessarily true. Sometimes they just want to let you know that they are okay and that they see you. Sometimes they just want you to know that, hey, I'm still around you. Yep.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. So
Darius is in.
right, because we all had that experience as kids, and that's why I said, I've always been a spiritual kid, but then to grow up in a place that will hone your gifts. So now that even as an adult and in this space, I'm like, I know I can tell the difference between when there's a good presence and when there's a negative presence around me. I can literally feel it. It's like they say, my spidey senses go off. But yeah, I just had to share that. But we can go ahead into whoever would like a reading.
Well, I have my own little special introduction for it.
Oh,
Go ahead. Re-up it. Okay. So now is the time we put tarot to the test. Okay, we got the chords, we got the vibe. Now we need your questions because it's time for Ask Me. If you have a question about your love life, your career, if you're at a crossroads, you need a little divine guidance, now is your time. Don't hold back. Drop those questions in the chat, and no question is too out there. Okay? So definitely, if you guys have a question, if you feel like you're at a crossroads, definitely drop that question in the chat for Ask B. And while you guys are figuring out, oh, okay, well, we already got a question.
Okay, I was like, okay.
Let it loose.
Will you be a successful realtor? Okay. Spirit, we have a question on the floor. Show us what you would like to share with Darius concerning being a realtor. Show him the things that he does not see, the things that he should see, and any other message that you would like for him to know concerning becoming a realtor.
You got a second question, B.
Huh?
He has a second question as well.
A mess. I have all these cards that fell out. I'm gonna put these back in. I did hear that this needs to come out. So the first thing I see is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands for me is to follow. I always say that is the card where you should follow the beat, the drum of your heartbeat, because that will make your world complete. That is the world card. That is a good thing. Um, However, I must ask you to think about this. Is realtor is being a realtor your true heart's passion? And I ask that because the Queen of Wands came in reverse, which will let me know that that's not something that you really want to master. Maybe that's something that you believe that you can do, and you can do it, but you will find your world's purpose, that heartful purpose, the one that makes your world go round, um, when you follow that passion. And sometimes for us, um, when we have a passion, we think if we start to do it, if we start to work towards it, we think that it may not happen. And sometimes it's not that it's not going to happen, but it's maybe not the time for it to happen. Um, it may be something that we have to learn, or something has to be moved and shifted out of our way at first before it can happen. The next card that came out is the Seven of Cups, meaning that there's so many different options um, that you can choose from. And now I'm not saying do not get into realtor if that's what you want to do, but I'm also seeing that you have options here, and options that will lead to an Ace of Wands, which is a new era, a new area in your life that will prove to be prosperous for you. So I'm not going to say don't get into realtor, to being a realtor, because what you're learning now, whatever you're doing now, may lead you to another door. I can't believe you said that. But yeah, see, you have there is some. It's like you have so many options before you. And I know that realtor, like I have some friends that do insurance, right? I could never do insurance. I'm not a salesperson. I tried it for an internship, for a marketing internship, could not do it to save a cat's life. I said, this is not me. So I left. Like I even left money on the table, left. Okay. And so whenever you find this passion, I'm waiting for, it's like another card that's supposed to come out, and I'm wait. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So there's this passion that's going to come, and this reminds me of the reading from yesterday, because the Page of Pentacles just came out. What the Page of Pentacles is in this sense is that it may look like small money now, but give it time to mature. When that money starts to mature, especially when it's something of a passion, you're going to see how it manifests into something greater. Because when you're manifesting the world card, that doesn't mean anything small. It means that something greater is coming for you. That means like your dreams, your hopes, your wishes is coming out. It's going to manifest itself. And so it's going to start off small, right? Because you're at the beginning. This is new. The Ace of Wands is new. It's literally number one. When it grows, it will become something else. I knew you was getting to that. I'm waiting for the cards to come out. Oh gosh. Um, oh my gosh. And for those who don't know, Darius and I go back to like Pampers. That's how far we go back. Babies. Um, okay. So it's concerning the man. The Knight of Pentacles came out. So yes, I do, and I will. The Knight of Pentacles came out. So this person that's coming towards you is a wealthy person. Like they leave a trail of money with them. So there may be somebody that's coming towards you already. Because in this card, he's literally walking, and there's like I said, a trail of money there. Um, so you have to, okay, yep. This person also may have just gotten out of a bad relationship. So you may or may not know the person. So there's this person just literally got out of a situation that was mental for them, a very strong mental thing with them. And when they come, he's going to come as a page of cups, meaning, oh, I want to give you my cup. I can't with you, Darius. Cannot with you. All right, hold on. That was another. Oh, yeah. Ace of Cups came out. So yeah, this person is definitely coming towards you. So and I'm going to say this, the person may not necessarily present himself as somebody of money. So d- make sure that you're not turning somebody away that let's say that he may just dress up in like t-shirts and sweats all the time. Let me put it that way. And sometimes when somebody is wealthy, they'll look like that intentionally because they don't want people to know that they have money. Um, the only people that are flashing around a lot of stuff are those who really don't have a lot of money. People don't want, if people think about it, think about how many times people say, if I win the lottery, I'm not telling my family anything. I'm going to act like I'm broke. See, you said a doctor, somebody with high intelligence. This card literally flipped out as you was typing that. So yeah, this person is highly intelligent. He's used his wisdom. Um, he knows how to execute things the right way. So hey, entertain the doctor. Yeah, text him right now. Just say how you doing. I'm just thinking about you. Yep. But that's what I got. Um, bottom of the deck here is the Hierophant. I just happened to look down, which means that's like a prayer, an answered prayer. Okay. Now, Ashley, did you say there was someone else that had a question as well?
I think about her, she had, I believe, two questions. The first one, let me scroll back up so that I wouldn't forget about her.
Okay.
She doesn't have neither parents that are a part of her life. Her father passed away in 2018, and her mother lives in a different city than she does, and they don't have a relationship. The question that she had was she's seeking guidance, peace, and a wealthy life, but she's still young, and sometimes she finds it hard to ask for help.
Okay. Um, well, the first thing is you have the inner strength already. Oh wow. Okay. The justice card just came out in reverse. But what I'm getting is that it's not one where you're not getting justice, but it's one where it's you are the block is what I'm getting at. World here. It's coming out again. Um, King of Wands. Yeah, so what it's saying is that you have to take control of the situation. Because the King of Wands is all about movement. Because Wands is also about movement. It's not just about your passions, but it's about movement. And so, in order for things to change in your world, you have to take charge. Um, what I'm also hearing is uh, don't expect things to just happen for you, right? So when taking charge, there can be a relationship. Say that two people have been bickering for years and years and years, and they never get it right. Right. Every time there's a family function, you see them at two opposite ends of the room. One of the things, until one of them has that aha moment and said, you know what, we can't live like life like this. We're causing turmoil and dispute amongst everyone else because of our drama. And until that one of them says, you know what, I'm going to make amends, I'm going to apologize, even if I'm not in the wrong, because that is when your higher self kicks in and says, I have to be better than what this situation is presenting me with. It is that I believe I said it earlier. Oh gosh, I'm having so many cards, but it's that essence of, if I have to leave in order for this situation to become better, I will leave. I believe that was in my reading from yesterday. But it's that same energy. Sometimes you have to do the thing, that even though you may not have done it, um, it could be just one of those things where you have to take charge of the situation. And when you take charge of the situation, then it's like this aha moment for the other person, and it's like, okay, well, she took initiative, so I must do the same thing. I must do my part. And I hope that makes sense. Please let me know if you still have a question concerning that. Yeah, because you've been in this Three of Swords energy when it comes to your heart about this situation. You've been pained a lot about this.
Yeah, let us know if you're still on thinking about her.
Mm-hmm.
You have the question early.
Yep. And just like I said earlier too, this card came out, the Moon card. So there's some things that happen. This kind of goes along with that Father card. Um, there's some things that you don't see that's happened, and that's the issue, right? When people go through things that we don't know about and they hide it from us, they tend to lash out at us, on us, as if we did it. So sometimes you have to continue to love her. Like, you may not have to, yep, yeah. And then there's like this non-closure that she has. So, and you may even, and I know this may sounds like the cuckooest thing that you could ever hear, but maybe you have to print, I would print out a picture of my father and tell her to tell that picture everything she wanted to say to him, to get it out of her. And if she takes the picture, right, and I was going to say that sometimes we have to love people from afar, exactly. But if she takes the picture and destroys it and rips it up, let her do that, because in doing so, she is going to help her. Because sometimes, oh gosh, I haven't talked on this topic in years, but I used to talk about how when people hold on to things, it becomes something other. It can become a cancer of some sort. Like, quite literally, it can become cancer in the body. So, not saying that she has cancer, and she may have cancer, and that is because she is holding on to this thing. Sometimes the cancerous thing can be dementia. It can be some sort of a mental, a psychotic break, or something mental, a mental health concern of some sort. And it's because they are holding on so tightly to this thing that they don't let it go, and they won't let it go because they don't know how. Yep. And I will say this, even So my parents were not together um when my father passed, right? And me and my father had conversations, and my father has always loved my mother even after they left and got a divorce. He's always loved her. He's always made it a point to share that with me. And so one of the things about my mom is that there was this time when she had a little resentment there. And one of the things is that when he passed, she didn't realize how much it pained her that he passed away. And so she began to have those conversations with me, because there were at one point I was like, okay, well, my mom act like she may not have wanted to be with my dad. And so I questioned that. But I got a chance to see the other side after he passed away. And so, although she had someone else, she still had feelings and love for your father. And yes, it is coming out as resentment and pain and hurt, because how dare my first love, my true love, and I not work out? How dare this thing that has allowed me to have children, the man that I've had children with, the one I gave my heart and soul and body to, leave me? There is still some hurt there. Let me see, because I'm trying to read the part about what you said about your brother. From the same mother and father, he looks exactly like my dad. And as he gets older, she starts to see my dad and my brother more and more. Exactly. Exactly. And so even to the point, I wouldn't be surprised if you hear a story from him about her saying something and he's like, Mama, I didn't do that. That maybe you and dad did that. Stories like that, because she loved him. So, yeah. So continue to love her from afar, because that's your boundary. And don't feel guilty, because I do know that when we start putting boundaries on people, we start to feel guilty because we're not there. And if something happens, we start to feel guilty. But the thing is, if you have tried and you've done your part, you've done your part. The healing has to take, the only way that she can heal, it's not your job to heal your mother. She has to heal herself. She has to understand that there's some things that I have to deal with. Um, if she doesn't really take listen or do things with you, maybe you could get her brother to do some things. But I would even get her a dark night of the soul journal, if she would do it, because that would help as well. That is one of the things that I did for my mom a few years ago. I don't know if she's written in it. I do know that she opened it up while I was there and she read a few pages, so she may have done that. But I will say that since I have given her that book, my mom has even told me, "Oh yeah, I've started to see a therapist." And I'm like, "My mom has seen a therapist? Okay, I like that." um and it's the same thing, you know with my sister. Like, my sister has even started talking about therapy, and she was in the army, so of course they have to. So I wasn't worried too much about that. But it's like, I get happy when my family starts to talk about going into therapy, because that is letting those things out. So if that is your way of introducing therapy to her and introducing facing those dark demons and dark things in her life, do that. And there's so many different journals out there that, I mean, there's colorful ones, there's one specifically for women of color, there's some specifically for women. Like, you can find all kinds, and that could help. That can really help. Bestie, don't
Actually,
you sell
Soraya,
some?
I was gonna say, Soraya has a journal that she created. So drop that in the comments, Soraya, if you're still on, because she has a journal that you can download straight to your phone or any device. So if you're still on, drop that in the comments. And fun fact, guys, your therapist has a therapist. Okay, therapy is an individual journey, and I do believe, this is just my humble opinion, that everybody needs therapy. And this is coming from someone who has a therapist who has a therapist. So even my therapist has a therapist. So that goes to show you that even the most influential, smartest people that have it all together still need someone they can lean on. There you go, baby. Let me go ahead and pin this.
Yeah.
And I do have a journal as well. You can check that out just by going to the link in the bio. But Soraya has a wonderful journal that you guys can download directly onto any device, and it's easier to get to. So go ahead and oh, she's commented, this is a tough cookie.
Okay. Yep. The things can be really tough. I understand that. Okay. I see now he's not 18 yet, but the relationship is really bad that she doesn't let me talk to my brother alone. Mm-hmm. And there's yeah, there's a lot there. It's like a lot to unpack. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And misunderstood. I have recognized your comments and things too. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing your thoughts and things as well. Like it was noted. It was definitely noticed.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Special thanks to everyone who's on.
Yes.
Who's always on. Of course, a very special thanks to B for giving us the clarity that we didn't even know that we needed. And if you guys didn't get your questions answered this time, no worries. We'll be back for another round. So don't worry. We usually only answer what typically 1 to 2 questions, just so the show is not drawn out for hours at a time. But we are sending you guys off with good energy, great intentions, and a dash of magic. So peace, love. Ash is requested to be in our as we're trying to get off. Ash, really?
I didn't even see hers.
I'm trying to see how I can. Ash, do you still want to be on?
Oh, she said accident.
We know you.
I see that.
She said what? Oh, accidentally.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's not like you to request, but I was gonna let you in, honey, because we know that look, you can be trusted. So yeah. I was gonna accept you with the quickness, honey.
Yeah.
At any rate, okay. So make sure you guys download that journal. We pinned it in the comments.
Yes. Yes.
And you know where to find us here. Sorry, girl, said real fast. It's okay. That's okay, Ash. We love you too, baby.
Yes.
We love you too. Yeah, thank you guys for rocking with us another episode. And like I said, you know where to find us. Peace, love, and light. And I like to always leave you guys with a quote. This is by the famous, infamous Maya Angelou. In life, you may face defeat, but you must never be defeated. So take that with you, and that will take you as far as you need to go, guys.
Yes.
Don't forget, we do this every Tuesday, same time, same place, Partners in Conversations, where every episode unfolds a deck of intriguing discussions. Make sure y'all snapshot Soraya's. Soraya, what
What's that?
exactly? It's a journal, but what do you title it? So I'm not calling it something that's not.
Oh,
I know it's a 30-day. It's a 30-day journal, right? I'm not mispronouncing what exactly it is. Double Scorpion is just going in. Okay, so a 30-day journal. So make sure you get a snapshot the pinned comment for your 30-day journal. All right, and we'll see you guys back here next week.
Yes. Peace.
31-day new. That's what it's called, guys. A 31-day New Year's journal. Make sure you guys download that. You're going to want to take heed to all of the different things that are happening, that are occurring. Like I said, take note of everything, and just this journal will help you guys take note of everything. Thank you, thinking about her, for your questions, comments, and concerns. And we'll see you guys next week at 11/11 Tuesday night. Peace.
Peace.
11/11 Tuesday night.
Thank you all for joining as well. And as always, as last time, if you would like to contact me, you can follow me on Instagram, Healing Room Tarot, and you can request a live reading from me there. And like I said earlier, I will not break your bank. So, and there are certain days that I'm going to have certain things. And I'm going to also be promoting something soon, a fundraiser for a dear friend of mine. So please check it out. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.